Hi, this is Natalie Lander, voice of Kinsey, Tara Branford, Stargirl, and many others. You are listening to a W2Mnet podcast. You can visit W2Mnet.com for other podcasts about entertainment, video games, sports, and wrestling.
TheChairShot.com. Always use your head.
Konnichiwa!
Minasan konnichiwa!
All right, welcome to another episode of the Kurisumasukēki version of Talk the Keki.
Christmas cakey, what the fuck?
Well, because we have My Villain Academia, and the villain is Christmas cake, so Talk the Kurisumasukēki.
Okay then, Christmas cakey.
Well, because Christmas cake is when a woman's undesirable over 25, and when they're not married, they're considered unwanted. So.
Oh my god.
You didn't know that?
I've heard that. Yeah, I have heard that.
Oh no, that's legit.
Turning away. Let me turn back to my mic. Yes, I've heard that. I mean, I'm used to being unwanted, so whatever.
You're not female, so you can't be a Christmas cake. But
I mean,
anyway, welcome to a Christmas cakey version of Talk the Keki.
I could provide the frosting.
Stop it! Let me get to it. Hi, Matt. Joining me is my co-high, Ethan. What's up?
Oh man, we're a little bit delayed because I am working out now. I do boxing classes, and this weekend, as you guys know, Matt and I are big wrestling heads, and I still watch mainstream shit. So this weekend for me was dedicated to watching SummerSlam and Takeover and Rampage, and so I'm not too far behind. We're a little bit delayed because we normally would start about an hour previous, but I had to catch up on a couple things. So we're not going to talk about Uramichi, unfortunately. We won't talk about Boruto. I know many people don't give a shit.
For the one person who's devastated.
Motherfucker. And we'll talk about To Your Eternity, which today, as we record, is the penultimate episode. We will get back and we will talk about those next week. One thing I did want to mention.
We'll give Eternity a proper farewell next week for the last episode.
I'm curious because can you look this up real quick? Because on analyst.co, it shows that the episode dropped today, and it did, but there's no info on when the finale is gonna drop. In theory, it should drop next week, but there's nothing that says that. And I was trying to find out when I saw it earlier today, when I saw that, if there was going to be some sort of delay or anything like that, because obviously we still have another at minimum 4 weeks of the season to go. So I'm very curious on that.
No, I'm looking now. It still says August 30th, but I could be wrong. It could change, but as of right now, it looks like it's still the same.
Hi.
Well, if we don't talk about it next week, you'll know why.
Indeed.
All right, but despite Uramichi, I'm going to say right away, it's great. A lot of genuine from Uramichi. He has a heart.
Does he? Wow.
That's all I'm going to say. And there's an after credit for you, so don't skip it.
Okie dokie.
All right, but we're going to get to that. We really don't have too much to talk about in terms of news. We didn't get any questions, so it'll be a nice, short, easy episode. We're just talking about the seasonal continuations. We'll go a little bit in depth with some of this stuff just to make up for it.
I'm sure they love our in depth.
No, they don't.
I mean, we all know fucking somebody who doesn't like them. Hint, hint.
Marte.
Fuck him.
No, that's fine. We got a couple of continuations. I've seen Eternity. He hasn't, but I will say that it's great, wonderful. I'm looking forward to the finale.
Yeah.
Nice ending to that arc.
Yeah.
Ended the way he needed to.
Yeah.
I won't go too spoilery for his sake. All right, so let's get to.
I want to just yes or no question. Does Fushi get some ass?
No. I know. Then that is pointless, right? I agree.
Fuck. Fushi's got to lose his virginity eventually, right?
Yeah, but not to Hayase.
You think Fushi jerks off and jizzes?
He's
a teen boy at this point.
He doesn't know what that. He probably doesn't even know what that means. So no. Probably Hayase would have taught him if he wasn't such a bitch about it.
Maybe Toneri will teach him.
No. So, yeah, how it ended, no.
Oh man! All right.
All right, but we are gonna get to Revengers first.
I did watch it.
We did. Oh yeah, he watched at his time, and Mikey, poor Mikey.
Mikey went. I thought he was gonna go Super Saiyan, bro, and he passed the fuck out.
Yeah, well, he got hit with a lead pipe multiple times. Again, he should have been dead. He literally should have been fucking dead.
Oh yeah, he's got a major concussion. He's bloody fucking lost a lot of blood.
A lot of brain damage.
Yeah, some brain swelling probably. Yep.
But let's talk about Baji.
Bro, well, before that, let's talk about Takemichi having some balls, bro. Takemichi has the biggest balls of the season thus far on him.
Yeah, for a guy who just gets his ass kicked, like he's just running in, and they're all like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And just ignore him. I think one pushed him down, like stepped on him.
Yeah, one guy got pushed, one guy got choked out, one guy when he was down on his knees, he kicked him in the fucking side of the head. That should have knocked him unconscious. Baji when hitting him in the back of the neck should have knocked him unconscious. But and of course it was very nice. I did like that where he called back and he knew like the future and he saw a dying Hina and he like said, "Nope, I'm not going to get knocked out." And he fucking gripped hard. He had Baji-kun in a fucking waistlock and he gripped like.
Oh, hold on. Before that though, let's talk about Kisaki.
Fuck him.
Fucking he just comes in the very last minute before Mikey gets attacked, and he's like, "Oh, like we got it from here." Like this was his plan the whole time.
As much as I hate,
like he's very trustworthy. He's a smart guy.
As much as I hate Kisaki too, he's like the best looking character out of them all. Like that earring is sick. Those glasses are sick. The hairstyle, it's all sick. He's tan as fuck, nice as tan. Like he's like the nicest, like flyest looking character out of them.
Oh yeah, like again, this was his plan to get the brownie points from Draken and everyone else. Oh yeah, he's the real hero here of Toman. Protected Mikey.
I wish Mikey could tell people like, "Yo, I know what the fuck is gonna happen. Like you're gonna be on fucking death row. This nigga's dead. This nigga's dead. This nigga's gonna take over."
I think Takemichi could do that. I think he's gonna risk fucking it up.
Yeah, like I would imagine like some like thing happens where he's like doom doom, like then he returns back immediately. No, like that's it. You can't go back.
Yeah, or it's going to change completely. It's going to be a lot worse.
I mean, shit, the way some of the things go down. I mean, how much worse can it get?
Right. But anyway, Kisaki does this to get his little plan next, and then Baji-kun comes out of nowhere, hits him with the pipe. Square in the face from behind. Knocks his glasses.
Broke his glasses, bloodied his head. Yup, it was a nice savage ass hit, but Kisaki, because everybody there can get punched in the face and fucking not absorb any type of concussion or brain damage because takes getting like fucking run over or shot in order to actually do something to somebody.
Yeah, and then Chifu tries to stop him, like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like, no, he was my main target the whole time, basically, type of thing.
Yeah.
And then Takemichi's like, "Wait, where's Kazutora?" And then out of nowhere, nothing personnel, kid. Teleported behind him. He got rid of Baji. He stabs Baji, but it wasn't fatal yet. But he's still he's alive. And then boom, Kazutora. Now he blames Baji.
Bro, that guy's a fucking psychopath, bro.
Like, dude, it's your fault the whole time. It wasn't Mikey. It wasn't Baji. It was your plan.
Bro, that guy's the type of guy to get with a girl, beat the shit out of the girl, and say it's the girl's fault that she got beat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's he got this girl pregnant. It was the other person's fault.
Yeah,
it was Draken's fault.
Yeah, for real. You fucking got her, some bitch pregnant.
But you did it. Nope, it's totally Draken.
It was your chimpo.
What do you mean? It's literally your DNA. Nope, he stole it.
You're a Seki, bro.
Turkey baster.
Oh, that's so gross.
I know. Anyway,
have a turkey baster for somebody else's cum into my bitch. Like, what the fuck?
People are crazy. Anyway, Takemichi tries to talk to Baji. It ain't working. Baji's like, "I got this. I'm gonna fuck this guy up."
And he fucked up 49 motherfuckers
by himself
with a lead pipe.
Yeah, and then once he gets to Kisaki, he just collapses. Like the stab wound was it's actually affected him now.
Yeah.
And he just collapses on his knees on the floor. I think he's going to die this time.
They have a penchant for fucking save and stab people, so.
I think it'd be too cliche if they did it twice in a row.
You know what I'm waiting for, honestly? I feel like somebody will die for sure in this arc, in this portion of the story, someone is gonna die. I don't think it's anybody we think. I think it'll be someone else that's important.
Chifu?
Somebody, yeah, somebody else that's like important, and that, or somebody that is somewhat important that Mikey didn't. I'm sorry, not that. Takemichi didn't know was gonna die. Like maybe Chifu, like you said,
Or the Kawada brothers.
yeah, somebody. You know what I mean? Like maybe Peiyon,
Mitsuya.
yeah, or Mitsuya or somebody. You know what I mean? So, somebody somewhat important but unexpected is instead of Baji will die. I don't know. Maybe that's
If Baji kept hitting him, he could have killed Kisaki.
he could have, dude.
He was ready to go. I mean, just let him be.
He shouldn't have paused it, bro. He should just shank and then fucking die. And life would have been good. He could have shanked him in the throat. He had the fucking end of the pipe.
I would just kept him beating him repeatedly with the pipe. Like this, he got him down. Okay, keep wailing on the head. He would have been dead. This whole thing was over.
Yeah, like dude, you already made the commitment. You already smacked 49 motherfuckers in the head with the pipe. Like you got the guy that you wanted to fucking smack with the pipe directly in front of you. Try it, motherfucker. Like, all right, whack.
No, I mean before he got stabbed, like when he first hit him. Yeah. I would just finished the job right there because everyone was unprepared. Mikey was unconscious. Kazutora's out of the way. The guy, his fucking guys, the homies were not.
Yeah, bro.
I would just done it right there. Go that and then run away like bye.
But you know anime, bro. We all know fucking if something happened, then the story would happen.
I know it's a shonen.
I know, bro. If Rin didn't die, fucking, we wouldn't have had the Fourth Ninja War. You know, shit like that.
The Great Coochie Wars. I know.
Yeah.
Well, you know about the Coochie Wars, right? That seems like a no. Look, there I was, back to back with Jesus. Bible in my right hand, machine gun on the left, ready to blast these unholy thoughts of our divine sauce. One minute later, I was out of both. I said, Jesus, I need a melee weapon. Never in my life has seen a Mexican throw a sandal so fucking far in my life. I killed 657 prostitutes that day.
With a fucking chancleta.
Yeah, it went down as the Great Coochie Wars.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, the chancleta is nothing to fuck with.
Nah.
We digress, dude.
Again, the holy sandal Mexican Jesus. That's all you need to know. So much power in that sandals. I can hear the sound of ass cheeks clapping every time I close my fucking eyes. My power pole exited her mouth. He'll never be the same again. Yamete.
Yamete kudasai.
Yamete hyuge.
Yamete koshijin-sama.
Hanase.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
We're digressing for sure. This is where we're making up time because we're fucking shit. All right, let's keep on going.
Anyway. Definitely a good episode. The Tokyo Avengers here. We'll get to see how it all ends with Baji next episode, and we'll see what his true intentions. I still think it's again to get to Kisaki to get him out in the open to kill him. But again, a very great way to end it for that episode.
I hope Takemichi, I feel like Takemichi may die too. I hope he loses his virginity before he dies.
You think he'll die at the very end?
It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me because it's I feel like fate. You know what I mean? Someone has to die.
I feel like it'll be the brother.
Maybe. I can see that.
Yeah, I definitely see. What's his name? Yeah, Naruto. I see Naruto dying.
Can you imagine if Naruto?
That way he can't go back to back then.
I feel like Naruto may be part of it in some capacity too. From the get-go as a child.
He kind of has to at this point, right?
Yeah, maybe as a kid, dude. Later on, he joins the evil gang or whatever, or Kisaki, I don't know, fucking, manipulates him when he's a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know. There's so many possibilities, and that's what makes the anime so great, is that we can come up with these fucking random ideas, and they may be applicable, they may not be, but, it adds layers, and it's really fucking cool.
All right. Before we're gonna close off of our continuation with My Hero Academia. This was the big episode.
My Villain Academia.
Yep, this is the theme of our episode with the Kurisumasukēki, and now it's the real My Villain Academia, and we are in for a treat, folks.
Yup. Man, first off, I just want to say that it's pretty sick that fucking Shigaraki's wearing his fucking family's hands on.
Right.
That was sick. And he threw up obviously when he found out, like, oh, this is your mom, this is your dad, this is your brother, this is your sister, this is your best friend. You killed your dog. And then fucking all for one and the doctor just like hee.
Yeah, like I cannot help but feel sorry for him a little bit.
I mean,
Little, not fully, but
I mean, he's got a fucked up quirk. You know what I mean? You know, in a way, he's kind of got the quirk like the Duke of Death.
yeah, Bochan, yeah.
He's kind of got it like Bochan, where fucking everything.
Well, his is more. I think it's just anything, anything he touches. Well, he can control it.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, but, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, man, it's pretty sick. It's a pretty sick episode. We get more backstory with like you mentioned, like his childhood and how fucked up it is, and how All for One manipulated him. We see what's it called? The All for One's doctor, the one who's performing the surgeries. First was that surgery that we saw, and this is what opens up the story as well. We see that in more gory details, the power that he has, and we see a little bit of it when he's facing who will learn is Gigantomachia, which is All for One's bodyguard.
Right.
And basically he has to subdue him in order to gain more power. But you see a little bit of power. You notice how he like basically turns into mud and then comes back. Yeah, but my curious thought was that operation, I'd imagine that was before Gigantomachia, right?
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah. So because they basically did a flashback and then they do a flash forward. So
right.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, though, it's a very great informational episode. Basically, they have to fight Gigantomachia, All for One's bodyguard. He's a literal beast, fucking humongous. He lives in the forest. He was hidden before All for One was in custody, just in case, and he was told to wait for Shigaraki. But Gigantomachia basically sees Shigaraki, and he's like, "Yo, you're a bitch, dude. Like, I'm not gonna follow you," and he wants to kill him. And so fucking they go on.
So it's like this is his test.
Yeah, so basically they all go on these crazy battles. And Gigantomachia, man, you talk about stamina. Man,
I know, right?
48 hours and 44 minutes, and then he passes out for 3 straight hours, and then wakes up and he's like, all right, let's go again for another 48 hours. So basically Shigaraki, and he also has a homing device for Shigaraki where he goes after Shigaraki. So basically, the rest of the League of Villains, they take shifts with Shigaraki to try and subdue him. Because again, as we mentioned, in order for him to obtain more power, he has to basically make Gigantomachia submit to him, make him like, your bodyguard now. So they get their ass kicked. But Shigaraki, he is doing well at evading, and he feels he's getting more skilled because of this fight. But it's a slow fight, and then we learn that we see the head of the Liberation Army, and he has one of the heroes in custody, and he's chopping off his fingers for torture. Giran, right? I believe it was.
Right.
Giran, and so they have him in custody. He hasn't said a single word about anybody, hasn't revealed anything. Like he's a real one, and he's losing his fingers because of it. And basically, they say he's got 116,516 soldiers, hidden soldiers across Japan, and as part of the Liberation Army, and that they're gonna, basically take them down. And if they don't take them down, then they're gonna basically snitch on them to the heroes, so the heroes take them down. So you have a choice: you can come and lose to us, or you can lose to the heroes. Your choice. You have an hour. And so basically Shigaraki comes up with the idea to basically, all right. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention that throughout this process, when they meet the doctor and when they go different places, they're using All for One's transmission quirk, which is like the giant, like fucking black tar.
Yeah.
That envelops them. So they're using that to transport themselves in different locations and such. So he basically is going to use that to go to the city of Aichi, where the Liberation Army is headquartered, and that's going to basically cause Gigantomachia to follow him to there. And we'll see the next episode what the fuck is going to happen. So
yeah, we got plenty more to come. We got at least 4 more episodes of for My Villain Academia. We cannot wait. Like, again, this has a lot of promise.
Yeah, this is basically one of the most anticipated arcs of the entire entire series, I guess, both in the
one of them
and in the anime. So very curious to see how this is gonna go. For all this shit talk that people have said about how boring the season is, it's gonna end on a bang. So can't wait to see how that turns out.
It's like it'll be the norm where it starts really, really, really slow, and then it kicks up like near the end of the race, as they say.
Yeah. I'm curious because the movie itself isn't canon, right? Because they're never considered canon.
No.
I know that the last movie that was in the United States,
Heroes Rising.
Heroes Rising, is supposedly set after season 5. So it's basically in the summer after all this happens. We're in the winter.
Right.
So basically that movie happens in the summer. So I'm curious where the new movie is going to take place because, like I said, this was done after the season. So will this be a prequel to season 6? Will this be middle of season 6? We don't know. I guess we'll find out later from people that are there. But in any case, I don't know.
But
Interesting shit.
honestly, how that movie ended would be how it would end the series, with Midoriya and Bakugo with that power against all for one.
That would be great.
That would have been the perfect way to end it. Like all for one's gone, that one for all power's gone. Just end it right there. That would have been perfect.
Yeah, but then Midoriya won't have any quirks. So just go back to being quirkless.
No, that's fine. Yeah,
but then he won't be the greatest hero. Unless the greatest hero is
that's the fate. That's the fate. Like he was the greatest hero. He beat the greatest villain. He ended on a high note. He's like content with it. He saved people. He probably teach people despite not having a quirk.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It would be interesting. Good storytelling.
Oh yeah, but since they did that, I don't see that ever happen.
Yeah, but we're gonna see Midoriya look like fucking Gran Torino at the end of the series.
Yeah. Poor guy.
Grandma Ochako with fucking grandchildren everywhere and shit.
She's the nurse.
Yeah, right. She's the fucking nurse. That's funny.
Anyway, we're gonna take a quick commercial break and we'll talk about our summer seasons that we're watching separately. Stay tuned.
Why should you visit thechairshot.com? Thechairshot.com is your home for hard-hitting reviews, news, opinion, and analysis with attitude. Why? Because you're smarter than the average fan. Thechairshot.com. Always use your head.
All right, we're back, folks.
Kokikenyo.
Hopefully you guys stayed. If not, fuck you.
Yeah, right.
Anyway. We're going to talk about the summer seasons that we are watching separately. Ethan, as always, you first.
Because I have less.
Yeah.
So I didn't see Boruto. However, I did see, based off the post that I made in our group, that this is the Amado defection episode. So basically, they have Amado and they're basically interrogating him. So I haven't seen the episode. I just know that this is the defection and interrogation episode. This was on the heels of him and Kashin Koji trying to kill Jigen while he rests because he's only at 10% power. So we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'll probably watch that tomorrow, and we'll report back next week. Tsukimichi. Another funny episode like usual. I mean, the dude is just fucking OP as fuck. I mean, he's pretty goddamn OP. I mean, for a lot of these, because we recorded so late last week, I basically told everyone what happened with these. So right. Tsukimichi, that comes out every Wednesday. We're recording on Monday this time. We recorded on that previous Wednesday, so I already told you what happened in the last episode of Tsukimichi. If you wanted to find out what that is, please go back, listen to the previous episode. You could hear me describe it in some detail. Scarlet Nexus, same thing. Actually, no, Scarlet Nexus we recorded after the fact. So Scarlet Nexus, they basically escape. Basically Nagi comes and he's all fucked up and he's like, oh, you guys need to escape before they do to you what they did to me. And Yuito wants to save Nagi and he can't. So as they're trying to like discuss this, a bunch of others come out the woodwork and Nagi buys them time and they escape. And so Nagi manages to kill all the others, but he's all wounded and fucked up. So the scientists, they come to and they take him and they start experimenting on him and he continues to be tortured. Meanwhile, Yuito basically is under suspicion now because that was a state secret lab that he wasn't supposed to find out. So his brother, who's now the acting basically director since his father was killed, And some of the higher ups basically want to dispose of the unit because they weren't supposed to find that out. But the general basically buys them time and says, "You listen, as long as you don't stick your nose in your business, then you'll be fine. Just keep your head low." But everyone knows now, like Yuito and his team are starting to see the stuff that Karen and Kasane see, and so the end of the episode is pretty powerful because the end of the episode shows Oh, actually, before I get to the end of the episode, the other part, which is actually the more important part of the episode, shows Kasane and her team breaking into an other facility, and they manage to speak to Naomi, and they see Naomi in other form, and basically she has to continuously take those shots that turned her into another in order for her to keep her consciousness. They wear out every couple hours, and so she rampages like a normal other unless she gets the shot. So they have an emotional reunion once they find her, but eventually the meds wear out, and as she's going to attack, Karen comes and with his teleporting ability gives her a shot, and she passes out. And they discuss like what's going on. Before they basically pledge full cooperation. One of what's it called? Subordinates asked Karen a question. I forget what the question is right now, but she asked him a significant question, and they don't tell you the answer. Like you see him mouth the words and it goes mute basically, and then their faces go lit. At the same time, at the end of the episode, after Yuito and their group find out that they're in the clear as long as they keep their nose out of business they're not supposed to be in, an MP basically gives Yuito the medicine that he was supposed to receive from the doctor in the previous episode. So when he opens up the medicine, it's the same cartridge that turns people into others. So basically, not only are they using it to turn the people into others, but they're also using it most likely to psychologically affect or psychologically control the recipient of that medicine. So interesting stuff as that goes along. Let me see. Million Lives, just caught up on that today. That was a good episode. We basically see the sixth person is an American named Glenda. She speaks fluent Japanese and she also speaks English. So we get some Japanese English if you ever have to listen to that. It's pretty funny. But in any case, basically she finds out through online circles of an isekai world, and one of the people who tells her that is Yuki. I think that's her name, Yuki. Now I'm forgetting the bitch's name because she's one of those side characters, not really all that important. What's her name? Yuka. Sorry, Yuka. So Yuka basically online tells of her adventures, and so she is tasked by the white girl, which is basically the little girl who is in control of everything and knows everything, to make a movie that basically describes their actions to see if they can find more people and they can share their experience and whatnot. So the first part of that is basically them, in that they make the movie and they post it, and it's him and Kusue and Shindo and everyone else. And basically, Shindo says like, "Oh, I want to get paid because I'm an amateur model." And Jotsuya's like, "Hey, I can't pay you. Like the fuck, I'm poor." And so in a really like kind of like sexy, cute way, she goes, "Listen, I just want you to be like more real. I just want you to be your real self with us, the same way you are with other people." Because she notices that in the game to the NPCs as well as in real life to his like people that he's cool with, like he's very friendly, very outgoing, but he's really cold and callous and a real fucking dick to Shindo and the gang, and he's really selfish. So she just wants him to be like normal, and so that's the deal that they come across. So they go into the next quest. The next quest is they have to save a village from certain doom, and they have 30 days to do so. They get there and they go to ask Kavo-san for advice. They find out and they see her daughter, who's all grown up, and they find out 17 years have passed since the last time they were in the game, and Kavo's passed away. The daughter does her best, helps her out, sends them on their way. They end up finding they end up in the jungle basically trying to find this village, and they find out through a little girl who ran away from the village that the village is on top of a monolith. And so they try to help her out. They gather supplies. They make camp basically in this like little like house area in the middle of the forest. And the episode ends with the girl's father looking like a zombie with a snake in his head, and he's missing an arm, and he's gonna attack them. So that was pretty interesting. This season, as far as I'm concerned, is definitely really more. It's definitely stronger than season one. Perhaps just because we have that build up already. But I just like the themes of this season. It's going pretty well as far as I'm concerned. And then finally, I'll end with Slime. Slime is fucking great. We finally get the battle. We see basically the ogres, the ogre team, and the beastkeepers. They get the drop on the fucking enemy. easily defeat them. And so the three beastkeepers are tasked with, fighting some of the significant people. So one of the beastkeepers faces the two clowns. One of the beastkeepers, fuck, I forget who they face. Somebody, I don't know, somebody else. Like I forget, nothing too crazy. And then the third beastkeeper, the strongest beastkeeper, goes after one of Clayman's fingers, and it's a very tight battle, very back and forth. And then suddenly, as he's about to get an advantage, Gabata who was sent over by Benimaru, comes out of the fucking shadows and fucking easily blocks this fucking attack. And so they're like, what the fuck? So the finger attacks, and I forget his name, but the finger attacks Gabata with some magic, and Gabata pulls out fucking magic and stops the magic. Gabata now is OP as fuck. And we find out basically because of Rimu's ascendance to Demon Lord, those around him personally, all as we saw previously in the previous episodes, they all received the special gift. Apparently, Gobsta is fucking magic or something. Benimaru becomes like an all-seeing general where he understands and he knows enemy strategies and all that shit. Like it's called like I don't know, like all-seeing eye or some shit like that, or water. I don't know, but he basically becomes an all-seeing general. And so the episode ends basically with the fight being one-on-one. Gobta backs out because he's like, oh, you basically broke the rules because they said they were going to fight one-on-one. So he backs away, and they're basically going to continue to fight one-on-one between the Beastkeeper and the Finger. So good shit as a whole. We are now heading into, we did get a confirmation that this week starts the Walpurgis arc. And so, and one more thing I forgot to mention in that episode, we see the couple of the demon lords. They're starting to slowly figure out what's going on in terms of Clayman basically manipulating Millium and basically being the cause of this whole thing, especially since he's the one that called the Walpurgis. And so they're starting to figure out details, but they still don't have the full gist of it because they don't understand how OP Rimuru is. They don't understand how he has Veldora. Like, there's still very important pieces that these people who are starting to figure out the story don't have. So it's going to make the revelation to them even better than what it is. So it's going to be good shit for sure. Like I said, the Walpurgis arc starts next Tuesday, which is tomorrow. So I'm very much looking forward to that and seeing how that develops into, that final, basically second half of the season. And yeah, good stuff. So that's it for me, buddy.
All right, before I do mine, I just want to wish a special happy birthday to Miyake Kenta. He voices Ice Ruler in Overlord, Jirobu in Naruto, Scar in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Mohammed Abdul in JoJo's Part 3, and of course, All Might in My Hero Academia. So, of course, just want to wish him a special happy birthday here on Talk the Keki.
Tanjoubi omedetou gozaimasu.
Alrighty, let's get my shit out of the way.
Yeah.
Episode 6 of Nighthead 2041. This was definitely the better one. What you call it? What's that brother's name? I get it mixed up. Naoto goes to the rebels to the news station, say, "Hey, you're gonna go here to show off your psychic powers around the world. Like, they need to see that we're real and they're torturing people in these camps. These psychic people." So before Naoto goes on there, his brother Noya tries to warn him that there's a fake. Like, there's a double agent there in the group. He's like, "Shut up, you're gonna get killed. Like, I'm gonna shoot you if you open your mouth one more time." And it turns out he was right. There was a double agent. So the police were there. They shot everyone. They shot all the
bang bang, motherfucker.
Yeah, right on national television in this news.
Oh, it sounds like America. That sounds just like America.
Yeah. So Naoto runs away, and Takuya starts to chase after him. While Yuya was at the base where the rebels were beforehand to get Noya. So we're going to have a brother type thing. And while all this is going on, this is apparently Shoku's plan, the essential being that the one I talked about last week, how to get these brothers together. So everybody's going according to plan here with the mystery of this girl. But during the chase with Takuya and Naoto, he's asking, like, "Hey, where are my parents?" Because in their mental image, they saw the Kirihara brothers with the Kuroki's parents. And then Naoto's like, "I don't know who your parents are," type of thing. But basically, it seems like there was an image planted in the Kuroki's brothers' heads that the Kirihara brothers took them when they really didn't. So now they're manipulated, but they don't believe the Kirihara brothers. So it leads to this big fight with Naruto and Takuya. And this fight was great in terms of a psychic battle. You see Takuya using this psychic ability, like, oh yeah, you cops are using psychic abilities like fucking hypocrites, basically, and you're an amateur compared to me. So I'm gonna show you how it's done, and then does that. But eventually, Takuya fights back. Like he gets his power out of nowhere and just like blasts him away in this parking garage. And while that's going on, Noya is using his power, like this big glowing light that surrounds them. And I forgot the girl's name that's with them, but basically the Kirihara Bros vanish from their location, so you don't know where they are right now. So the Kuroki Bros are looking for them in both of these locations, like the warehouse and then this parking lot, and then they're nowhere to be found. So that's where the episode ended. And again, I still have some issues, but this was definitely a better episode, especially in terms of the action scenes for this one. So yeah, unfortunately, gets to stay. Good for you. You get a fucking cookie. Next one. My Life is a Villainous. All routes lead to Doom X. We get an episode on one of the guys in the harem, not mostly Bakarina. This is about Nickel. Talking about arranged marriage. And even the father's like, you don't have to do this type of things. Like if you don't like them, then no problem. Like he was being this supportive guy. But Nickel feels like in his head that he has to because of his age, and then like he needs like a noble family because he knows going to marry Bakarina is pointless because she's engaged to Gerardo. So he has his piles and piles and piles of folders of all these girls that want his dick, that want his money, that want his noble name, and then one by one, Nickel just does not want any one of them. Eventually, he meets this one girl. I forgot her name. He's like, "Oh, I'm only here just to make my parents happy. Like, I know how I like kind of like how you're faking it right now, type of ordeal."
Hey.
But before all that though, Sophia, Nickel's brother, she's the one that wants him with Bakarina, but she also gives him romance novels to read, type of thing. Like, hey, because she loves the romance novels, so it makes her happy, and he likes seeing her happy. So okay, I'll read them for you, type of thing. And he's not telling Sophia about the arranged marriages because he doesn't want her to freak out, type of thing. Because he knows she wouldn't want him to do it. But anyway, during that, Nickel starts talking to this girl, and they hit it off. They hit it off pretty well, like the nice, normal conversation. Nickel explains how he feels about Bakarina, and with this girl, Bakarina is in her magic academy ordeal, like the magic academy type of thing, where Bakarina wants to go because she doesn't want to get married right away. So it's like, oh yeah, nice girl and all that type of thing. And then she's like, just be yourself type of thing. Everyone's just like, even serious in the beginning, like just be yourself, like don't lie to yourself type of thing. And then later on, eventually, Nickel will tell his dad that he doesn't really want to marry right now. Like he chooses not to. It's like, that's fine. Like I honestly did not want you to. Like don't feel you're obligated. Don't feel you're forced to. Just be happy type of thing. So yeah, like so basically the family's in no rush. And then Sophia eventually finds out about this. It's like, do you know how? And she told Nickel, do you know how Dad met Mom? The mom was engaged to someone, and then the father took that girl. Like they fell in love. So it's kind of like how like there's a chance where he could do the same to Bakarina to Gerardo. So that type of ordeal. So it's like stop trying to think about actually think about what you want type of thing. So that's plenty for him to think about. So I liked it was just a one character focus ordeal, especially with Nickel. I like Nickel. He's probably one of my favorites in the male side, except for Alan. But I thought it was cute. I get the plenty of development from the one guy, which I thought that was needed. I like seeing stuff like that. So I don't know if we'll get it from the other characters. But we will find out. I don't know what the conclusion is going to be, though, because I feel like there's like almost no plot at this point. But there's still a lot of cute moments at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Moving on, Sonny Boy. This one puffed for me. Is like, damn it, this is good. I'm going to keep it. And Suda-san, not the guy that voices Namino, that voices one of the characters, the new character in this.
Mm-hmm.
He voices because basically, you know how I said like, they were separated, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where Nagara and all that, they're separated from the class that wants to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, while that happened, they found this theater room, and like, all the stuff that happened involving them. And with Mizuho, when she got back to them, like Rajhani and Nagara and Nozomi type of thing, there was a black dog with them called his name was Yamabiko.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened was this dog talks, and he says like how long he's been in this area. He's been there for 5,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
Time's at a standstill, basically. And then he says, how long have you guys been here? Like, 8 months. Okay, so that means you don't have a lot of time left. So I'm guessing you have a year to find a way out, or else you're stuck here forever.
Ooh.
That type of thing. So while they're in this movie room, they're seeing this film, all that, and said, Nagara, use your power to like see if anything changes while we play this film.
Mm-hmm.
And it does a little bit, and they feel like with Nozomi, who likes quote unquote sees the lights, he's like, maybe we have a way to get out of here. And then people like Hoshi and all that decide to join them in this.
Mm-hmm.
Even despite Hoshi talking to someone in their head.
Psycho.
No, like this was someone that like planned all this. And she's like, okay, we'll go with that. And then you see them like teleport, like this group, while what you call it, Aki Sensei. That was the teacher's name that was like causing tension.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you call it, Yamabiko's like, why is she here? It's like people that cannot go adrift in this are like basically only the school and the students are allowed to. So why is the teacher here?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to think about for the next episodes. How did she get here, and why is she so bent on saying they cannot leave?
Mm-hmm.
But eventually we get a white flash. You see, I'm trying to figure which one it was. Nozomi. You see her in the school, like they're in class, but she cannot touch the students. And then Nagara was the same thing, and is like, basically, it's another timeline now.
Mm-hmm.
So those students are dead.
Shinderu.
Yeah, like they're dead in this world, this timeline.
That's wild.
And you see this old guy. He's basically God in this show, because you saw him a little bit in the beginning, and then you see him at the end, like nice try type of thing.
Gotta be quicker than that.
Basically, it's like, like you need to figure it out better than this type of thing.
You gotta be quicker.
And that was like, this was like a lot of development. This is one of those shows that you really have to pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't like, even just turn away for like a minute or two, you're probably gonna miss something. Basically, every scene, every world they were in, everything about those characters, it's vital.
It's a mind fuck.
Exactly. So stuff like that is making me appreciate it more. Like this will probably be my favorite in terms of mystery, because there's an actual mystery.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta see how it ends before I actually give it that. Like it might not be a favorite anime, but it's like, in terms of a mystery genre, I might like it in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see how long they can actually keep that going, because I'm very excited to see where that leads.
Mm-hmm.
All right, closing off for me, of course, case study Vanitas. I will never get enough of this. It is so good.
Sexual blood sucking.
I didn't get that this time.
No.
No.
So you didn't get a chub?
I didn't get a chub.
No job. Damn.
Fucking Vanitas is being smug though.
Hey.
Like, he's very smug. Anyway, what you call it? Vanitas and No are at Lord Uncle's house
Mm-hmm.
to like discuss the matters and what's going on, what happened with the charlatan.
Mm-hmm.
Then Vanitas is like, "Hey, I'll help you, but I need something in return."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "What's that?" "I want to meet the queen. Someone that's been missing. No one has seen her. Is she Is she cursed? Is she dying? Why are you guys being so defensive about her?" type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this pissed off Lord Uncle. Like, he wanted to murder him. And then it led to what's that kid's name? Yes, Luca, the young boy. That's like the royal. You find out he's like a royal power, like a duke, like next to the queen.
Just call him a young boy.
Yep. The young boy, Luca. He's a kid, basically.
Huh.
But Luca like stops Lord Uncle from killing Vanitas and No right then and there. And then is like, I'm not helping you. Leave. Leave and never come back. Get the fuck out of my sight. That ordeal. And then it went to like finally leave, and then he got disappointed in Luca. It's like, the fact that you stopped me is like you're believing Vanitas.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, tell me, where's your loyalty really lie, type of thing. And then you see Luca with the queen, like you see like she has like a black arm type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So on top of that, like they go away, and then and now Vanitas and No are by themselves. I'm trying to think of sorry. I'm trying to process everything. Too much to talk about, folks. Too much anime. And I'm dying. The coughs.
Swallow, bro. Swallow.
No, never.
Oh, you're a spitter? That sucks.
I don't do that, period. It fucking feels weird in your mouth, let me tell you.
Oh, no.
How it's cracked up to be. It feels like a fucking mushroom top.
Oh, no.
Yeah. There you go. Spoilers, folks. Yeah. Gag like I did. Oh, God.
Bro, can you imagine? I'm doing these gag sounds and someone's listening to this in their fucking car in the middle of traffic. Shit.
You would be great for the ASMR stuff that people do for audio.
Dude, that's one of my favorite things to go to sleep to. Like, I just love it. I listen to ASMR chiropractic and ASMR haircuts, and that shit
Really?
is fucking yeah, bro. Like, what's it called? Haircut Harry, great for ASMR haircuts. Dr. B, Dr. Brett Benter on YouTube, great for watching great chiropractic videos, and they are in ASMR fashion a lot of the times. So good shit out there. Random thing if you guys want to relax.
I actually might be doing that for my typewriter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a typewriter, so I'm gonna actually might
Wow.
use that for ASMR type streams.
Just listen to us softly like this.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's definitely 18 plus ones.
Suck my blood really good.
I mean, it works for here. Anyway, the fact that Vanitas...
Suck it like your French girls.
Will you stop? Will you stop now?
Yamete.
Yes, that. Yes, that.
Yamete kudasai.
They're like, okay, now Noah and Vanitas are back in the human world. Like, well, now we got kicked out.
Yeah.
And now there's like, well, I'm gonna go save more vampires in the meantime until that pussy calms down and wants us to come back. And then they go like, okay, there's a mission of there's missing vampires, so I need to go help find them, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no problem. They're in this cathedral type thing with the paladins, so
Mm-hmm.
they sneak in. Is a funny moment. They get lost in there, and then we meet this guy. His name is Laurent, not Laurent from Great Pretenders.
Oh man.
And he's like this happy, bubbly guy. He's like, nice to meet you and all that.
Hajime Mashite.
And he's like, how'd you guys get here? Oh yeah, we're from the Paladin too. We just got lost. Oh, what a coincidence! I am lost too. He's like, but you work here, right? Yep, and I'm lost too. that type of thing. So he's like, oh, okay, follow me. I'll get you out of here. And it was a trap. he gets them knocked out.
It's a trap.
Yeah, like, aha, I do it. You guys are vampires. Well, I'm gonna kill you now. And that's where the episode ends. And then it's like, damn it, another cliffhanger. I just want more. So
that's what she said.
Yep. Also, Phineas is doing great in the anime trending polls. Still number 1 for characters, episodes. They didn't get ship. That was still, what you call it? Remake Our Life. Let me see where they were. Let me see the placements. Phineas and Janine were number 2, while Aki and Kyoya were number 1.
Man, I can't wait. We should talk about it first. Let's talk about after our commercial break. Let's talk about Remake first.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, well, I am done here. So let's go take this commercial break. And then we'll get back. We're going to finish off with the stuff we are watching together. Stay tuned.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey folks, PC Tony here. Thanks to our new partnership with Angry Lemonade, you can save 10% on physical products and digital commissions using the promo code ChairShot. Head to angrylemonade.net to check out their amazing catalog of products and services. Use the promo code ChairShot to save 10%. That's angrylemonade.net.
Tadaima minasan!
I heard you the whole time.
I'm sorry.
I was like, Alexa, make his pussy red.
All right, good thing I have my speaker off.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Alrighty. All right, now we're going to talk about the stuff we are watching together. And upon Ethan's request, we're going to talk about Remake Our Life first.
It's back. Thank the Lord.
Yep.
My favorite. My favorite of the season.
Let's talk about it.
Man, so I love this episode. It's, I don't know. There's so many different layers to this, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this first is because you just mentioned about the couple thing, and you mentioned Shinoaki and Kyoya, and part of the episode is basically Nanako, confronting Kyoya herself indirectly, but enough for him to realize what's up, and basically tell him like, I'm not gonna lose. And I'll get to that in a second.
He's being oblivious a little bit.
And but at that point, when he realizes it, at that point, and it's, I don't know, man, like, it's tough. And then it's, with the revelation that he doesn't even look at these girls in that way.
Yeah. He doesn't want to ruin the project.
He doesn't want to ruin the project. And you know what I think? I think he's going to end up, and this is my theory now, as much as I love Shinoaki, and as much as Shinoaki's a little ecchi, which I love, I think he's gonna end up with Kanasegawa. Iko, yeah. I think he's gonna end up with Iko, dude. And like, you could tell, because Iko, it's funny, he goes to Iko about this advice, and she goes, well, which one do you like? And he's like, I don't like either of them. I just want this project to be a success. And it gives her hope, because she's fighting her feelings for him. She's the last one basically to come too. And the other reason why I wanted to bring that up, and why I love this episode, is because of the fact that, in a way, like, Kyoya is the game's MC without all the ecchi shit. He's the game's MC, where he has a mini harem, and he has to choose between the women. And I'm curious to see how they're gonna do this.
And I love how they talk about it, like, near the end of the episode with Tsuruyuki, and talk like, hey, like, I'm writing this part now, basically.
Yeah, dude. Like, I really hope there's more to this season, because there's no way they can finish this, like, in 13 episodes. I just, like, they can't. And I really hope, really hope there's a second season. How is the light novel still going, or how much is the light novel? Do you know?
The light novel,
or whatever it is, manga, light novel.
While you're talking.
Yeah. So while Matt does that, let me just recap the show basically. So, again, Remake is back. Episode 7 begins.
Light novel's still going.
Light novel's still going. All right, good, dude. I can't wait. Oh, now that I just said light novel, real quick, let me revert back in terms of a brief piece of news. Volume 6 of Hijihiro, their manga light novel is coming out. I think toward the end of September.
Yeah, that's the last one.
That's the last one?
Yeah, Higihiro's over.
Yeah, but so then did we see the end or no?
Yeah, we saw the end of the anime.
But is that end the same end in the light novel?
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, never mind.
Yeah. Like it's been out, but now it's being published as a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we're getting at. But yeah, we got that exact ending.
All right. Well, my bad.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we learn more. In any case, I digress. Sorry about that, guys. So basically, the episode begins with the explanation of Tsurayuki's fiance. We find out they're childhood friends and that what's it called? They were basically what the fuck is the word? It's a arranged marriage between
by the
families. And the girl genuinely likes Tsurayuki, and he likes her, but not in that way. And so basically throughout the episode, she's trying to push him. She's forcing himself on her, feeding him, trying to have sex with him, like trying to bring him back because basically she's there to bring him back home to the life that he's supposed to have, where he's supposed to study to be a doctor. He's supposed to be with her. He's supposed to have a comfortable life. And throughout the episode, like he's combative because he's really committed to this. And we find out at the end of the episode. Well, I'll get to that in a second. So, again, this whole thing happens. He explains to Kyoya what's going on, and Kyoya's like, oh well, she brings us nice spices and shit, so we don't mind, whatever. But basically the whole task is they're on winter break now, and they're focusing on the project. They're getting good progress. They have a release date which is April, and they're doing really well with the project. And throughout this as well, we see, as I mentioned previously, the interactions between Nanako, Shinoaki, and Kyoya develop more. We see a funny ecchi scene basically with Shinoaki opening fucking Kyoya's legs and inferring some shit, and Kyoya is embarrassed, like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh, I'm talking about your thighs. And he's like, oh yeah, the thighs. After she's confused about a sex scene that she's seeing. So that was pretty funny. And again, Nanako's struggling because of the fact that she really likes Kyoya after all that he's done for her. There's a part where she's struggling in her thing, and he's there, comforts her, and says, like, no problem, we'll get this done, like whatever. And so Nanako hugs him from behind, and as he's embarrassed, she's like, nope. She's like, don't say anything, don't move, just let me recharge for a second, I need this. And he's like,
feel my breast on your back.
Yeah, and he's getting he's getting flustered, and she's like, all right, I feel better. And then he starts thinking back about it. And basically also they, like I said, they do the same thing as they see Tsurayuki's fiance feeding Tsurayuki. They try to do the same thing with Kyoya. They try to feed Kyoya different things. They sit next to him, and Kyoya is slowly realizing what's going on. Like, he obviously knows Shinoaki likes him because of the fact that they've kissed, and he's now slowly starting to realize what's happening with what's it called, with Nanako. Meanwhile, he's also talking with Kanasagawa about the project and things like that. They have great chemistry between them. Of course, he knows who Kanasagawa is going to turn out to be since he realizes everything, and so they've always had a great connection. They have this thing. So I think, like I said, as I alluded to previously, that's going to develop big time. But in any case, the episode continues, and they're in the Nanako and Kyoya are working together in the convenience store, and he's starting to realize everything, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go fill the drinks. So she gets upset, and she goes to him, and she starts doing the drinks too, and she puts her boobs on his head, and she goes, the first time I did this, it was a coincidence. This time I mean it. And Kyoya realizes what's going on, and before he says anything, Nanako's like, I won't lose, and then walks away as a customer comes in to tend to the customer. And so he goes to Kanasagawa, asks for advice. Kanasagawa basically says, like, listen, in any other circumstance, you're an asshole because you're leading these girls on, but I understand why you're doing it, because you want the project to flow and you want it to be a success. So for now, just continue to act stupid, and once this is over, you have to be forthcoming with them in terms of what you want. And so this helps Kyoya, and he's able to move on. Meanwhile, Kanasagawa is, she's still trying to find herself, I guess, throughout this, which is a very subliminal thing that's going on in the background. So I'm very much looking forward to how she embraces her feelings for Kyoya. And I think now, going forward, I kind of want to see Kanasagawa and and Kyoya go. The episode ends basically with the fiance of Tsurayuki more or less abducting Kyoya and bringing him to the docks. Kyoya thinks like, oh, I'm gonna swim with the fishes, and she basically flats out asks him like, yo, are you and Tsuraki gay? Because like he only talks about you and how much he respects you, and you guys talk about the project so much. Like, so y'all fucking? And he's like, no, 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 it's not like that, not like that, not like that. And he's like, oh, okay. And then basically they have a heart to heart about how there was her objective to bring him back, and he has the easy life. She doesn't understand why he doesn't want the easy life, and so what do and then also ask them about the fact like, listen, he like respects you so much. What are you going to do about his feelings? And so Kyoya basically says like, listen, he's doing this for his happiness. He's doing this because if he was there with you and in his circumstance, he wouldn't be happy. So I'm just here to support his choices. But at the end of the day, these are his choices. He knows exactly what's going on. He understands the risks and the potential failure, but he's doing it because this is what he wants to do. And so they have, an acceptance of that, and she moves on. And then that's how the episode ends, basically, with him staring at the sky. I think they're in Fukuoka. Yeah, and one more thing I did miss as well is that basically they spend Christmas Eve together, Shinoaki and Kyoya, and it's a very nice romantic, kind of like moment between them. Very like, very cute. And I love anytime you see any type of Yuki scenes, which are snow in Japanese. Anytime you see Yuki scenes, they're always very heartfelt, very romantic and emotional. You don't ever see casual Yuki scenes. You see stuff that develops or helps the story or the feelings or emotions or relationships continue. And I love seeing shit like that. Just like you have fucking Hanabi episodes that do the same thing. Just like you have beach episodes that are normally very casual, kind of fun, and lead to some other crazy shenanigan. Yuki episodes do that same thing. So overall, fantastic episode. I can't wait to see what happens next week.
Yeah, definitely great stuff. I loved it. I'm glad the ball's getting rolling again. And I actually hope we get to see a little bit of the game.
Yeah, we see the opening intro.
I know, but I'm saying like actual like a little bit of the gameplay type of thing. Like they show it off. So I'm hoping for that. I liked how it ended. And yeah, I believe, for what you said, Bakilya, about the ship, I believe that's going to be the case. So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Indeed. I can't wait to see it.
All right, up next, Detective is Already Dead. Fuck Alice.
You can't say fuck Alice because
I feel a little bad for her. So.
I do. I mean,
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We picked up where we left off. Siesta, and then.
Yeah, but it's funny. Every time I hear Siesta, I think of R. Kelly, who's currently in the trial. Like you said, Fiesta, Fiesta, Fiesta. So every time I hear Siesta, I'm like, Siesta.
Like, haters gonna hate, lovers wanna love.
Why don't you piss on me?
Piss on you, I'll pee on you.
Anyway,
Siesta was to Alice like, why are you still here?
Yeah.
Your thing's done, and she sees Siesta getting jealous. Like, hey, I'm gonna take Kibihiko with me for this a little bit. And she's like, what the fuck you doing? You find out a girl's heart got taken out. So they all go to the mother's house, say, hey, what happened? And she sees Siesta again personally. Hey, any behavior? As like, hey, like, stop it, type of thing. It's like, what'd you do? Like, what was your relationship with her later on? So the mother's you see the mother getting uncomfortable
and distraught. Yeah.
And then Alice like stops her, like thankfully changes the setting. Like, hey, you're a great mom. She couldn't ask any more from you. Was your fault. And
they embrace. And
and then Siesta's like,
they embrace on Alice's left side.
Yeah, and then Siesta says, I'm leaving. Kirihiko, fuck you. I was right. You're wrong. How dare you call me out? I don't want to speak to you again.
Yeah.
And then you see Alice. You see Kirihiko give Alice the ring. Like, hey,
No,
can
you
you
see,
put the-
yeah, basically Alice was tailing them, and then at that point they gave him a ring. We find out later the ring has a fucking homing device, so
Yeah.
she could track her because of the fact he keeps losing her. That's what he says, but it's secretly
But
because he knows something's up with Alice.
yeah.
So as
But
Kim,
yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, it's like, hey, can you put the ring on me? And so
hmm
Kimihiko gets on his knee, like, proposing. See
hmm
Siesta right there, like, hey, you know what? I kind of made a mistake. So with her eyes closed, mind you.
hmm
Yeah, I made a mistake. I know you're
hmm
trying to do the right thing. Opens her eyes, sees them like kind of propose, like, I wish you happiness. Fuck you again. Don't talk to me. Her emotions are everywhere, honestly, despite being this calm, collective, kind of like an android,
hmm
but and then Kimihiko gets a Daisy Siesta in the bed, like, don't talk to me, I'm upset. And then Kimihiko gets a call, like, hey, something happened to Alice. So he rushes over in the alleyway. You see the cop dead, and then Alice's left side, like, what? It was a right side or a left side?
The cop was the left side. Alice
I'm
got
talking about
shot on
Alice.
the right. Alice got
Yeah.
shot on the right.
Yes, and then you see like they get hospitalized. Kimihiko stays with Alice for a little bit, and CS is like, this is that. What was that girl's name?
Hell.
Hell, yeah. Like this is clearly Hell. She's finding the hearts and all that.
Mhm.
Like you believe, like you probably believe it too, for why you gave her the homing device, and then Kimihiko's like, no, so stop it. I don't want to hear about Hell. Like she's just a little girl, type of thing. It's
Mhm.
not fair. Like how can you be that heartless just because of this one person? And
Mhm.
then they're in this abandoned church where it's like CS is looking for
That's
help.
the abandoned church. That's the same church that the original murder happened in.
Right. Okay. Sorry, but they're still in the church regardless. And then you see Alice saying, "Hey, she's right."
Yeah, basically.
Like, yeah, this is really it. It's gonna be my last time seeing you. Like, she actually, like, you saw Alice like being genuine. Like, I really wanted to do this with you and everyone,
Mhm.
but she knows she can't. And then Chameleon shows up and takes her.
Mhm. Well, actually, you're forgetting the fact that Siesta basically. So basically, Alice
She was about to kill her,
apologizes, and at the same time that he apologizes, she switches into hell mode and
right?
lunges at
About to kill her.
Kimihiko with the fucking kitchen knife. By the way, we're also forgetting little details that led to this moment. At the moment that Kimihiko, at the very beginning of the episode, Kimihiko and Siesta are talking. Alice shows up out of nowhere. Less than 5 minutes after she shows up, the ambulance comes, and that's how they know that the fifth attack happens. At the same time that before the ambulance happens, they realize the kitchen knife is missing.
Yeah,
Also, when Alice is shot and you see the police officer stabbed, Siesta notices, and there's a pan on
the
it for the
same knife.
viewer. It's the same kitchen knife. So there's always little details, and then finally they basically put the pieces together. And as I had mentioned, when the mother was being embraced by Alice after that talk, and she hugged the left side, the mother said, I feel like it was my daughter talking to me just now because of the fact that her daughter's heart was inside of fucking hell, aka Alice. And so, as Matt said, basically she admits it, says she's sorry, but she basically has two people inside of her. She switches into hell
Like,
mode,
yep, and
attacks fucking Kimmy, and Siesta basically in an instant disarms her, puts her on her head, puts her gun to her head. However, Kimmy fucking, because he's distraught over everything, because he actually genuinely likes Alice as a human,
yeah,
pulls out his strap and was like, no, don't do it. And this provides the opportunity for Chameleon to sneak in, grab Alice, and basically they ask, like, what are you gonna do? They're like, oh, I'm gonna take her to our base that's 700 nautical miles away. Sounds like you guys want her, come find her. And so he escapes, and basically Kimihiko and and Siesta, like, they sit back to back, and Kimihiko's upset, and he's like, well, now what? He's like, well, first we're gonna go to the supermarket. We're
we're
gonna get
getting
the
pie.
we're getting the best apples that they have. We're gonna make some pie, and after we eat that delicious pie, my
You're gonna
pussy,
have my
that
pie,
pie. Yeah, I was just about to say we thought the same
the
thing.
siesta pie.
Siesta pie. After siesta pie, we're gonna go fucking save your friend.
Not
That's
mine.
how the episode ends.
She's your headache now.
Basically. So, good shit though as a whole. I don't, I was kind of mad I didn't see that like sooner. That would have made like it would have made sense. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Right.
So,
All right, let's get to girlfriend.
oh god, this whole episode was so fucking cringe, dude. It was funny and
Ah.
cringy at the same time, dude.
Now we know Saki's a cuck.
We do. By the way, I knew what they were referencing, but what does NDR stand for?
NDR.
Yeah,
It's hold on. I was
exactly what they were
I
referencing.
was just
What you
I
just
was
said, but like
I was explaining this to my partner too at the same time. Hold on, sorry.
and you know what's crazy?
What was it? Well, was it NDR or was it NTR?
It was NTR or NDR, something like that.
Because I know it was a cuck thing. Like
Yeah, like she's like,
the person being cheated on watches it.
yeah, and then Saki said like, I don't know why, I'm excited.
Yes.
So
Netare.
Needle Nair, okay.
Yeah.
Needle Nair, okay.
NETORARE.
Yeah, Needle Nair. Needle Nare, whatever. In any case, yeah. So basically, the episode focuses on the continuing evolution of Saki and Noya, basically trying to
Nagisa.
deflect, and Nagisa basically trying to deflect Milika's love for Naoya.
Rika.
For Naoya, I call her Milika, but it is Rika. I know she's Milika to me. But in any case, they're basically trying to deflect that love. And so Naoya and his fucking stupidity. God, Naoya, not only does he scare me with his eyes, but he's so fucking stupid. Like he's really fucking dumb, dude.
They're always dense.
He's really a fucking Riri when it comes to this whole fucking situation. But in any case, he's like, oh, Saki's lonely. And in the middle of class, basically, like, nope, we're going to stay together. And so Saki's on his lap in the middle of class. And the teacher was like, okay. Like, bro, you have a whole ass girl sitting on this man's lap. And so
like, she could be bouncing on his dick.
she could be bouncing on his dick and nobody would know. However, that gets blown anyway because Naoya drops his eraser, and so
touch her breast.
So as he's going to grab the eraser, his hand slides up and he grabs her titty, and fucking Saki's and everyone turns around. They're like, "I just grabbed my eraser. I'm sorry, I touched her boob, but didn't mean to." So that was cringe as fuck. And basically, they go back and forth in regards to it. Milika really is trying to doing her damnedest to get closer to fucking Naoya. Naoya is being fucking oblivious as fuck that like, yo, this bitch likes you, dude. And so Saki and Nagisa come up with some crazy ass fucking excuse that basically says that she's a bitch in heat. And that fucking she's horny and she'll fuck anything. And when Naoya asks like, okay, does that happen to you girls? Like, are you girls getting heat? And Saki goes, I have small tits, so it doesn't happen to me, which singles out Nagisa. And Nagisa's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, really? Yeah. And fucking stupid Naoya was like, oh, if you're ever in heat, let me know. I don't know what I can do for you, but we'll work it out together. And fucking Nagisa's like, this guy's fucking idiot. Saki set me up. And he's like, oh, I'll be sure to depend on you. And fucking
yeah, it's like, okay, let me hold you for a bit, Saki.
Yeah, so basically they were saying about how like, oh, I want to be held too, and so
Saki allows it for
Saki allows it. She's like, you know, whatever, go ahead, I'll walk away, do your thing. And Naoya is like, I want you to watch, I want you to understand, like, we're not doing anything beyond this, whatever. And so fucking Saki goes behind the door and like creeps, like she's like peeping, like a peeping Tom, and they hug. And fucking this becomes too much for Nagisa. Her heart is like doki doki pounding.
Yeah, it's an intimate hug.
It's an intimate hug. They hug a couple times, and so Nagisa collapses because her heart's like, oh my god, Naoya, I love you. And so fucking Naoya goes in like he's like gonna open her legs or kiss her or something, and Saki starts thinking of like the worst things, like, oh, they're gonna have sex in front of her, and we see images of a naked Nagisa and a naked Naoya before he sticks it in, and she's shaking her head and she's like, oh my god, I'm in an NTR situation, but I like it. What the fuck? Why am I so broken?
I can't look away.
What kind of kink is this that I'm into? This is fucking wrong. And she finally walks in on them. And they're like, oh, Saki? And fucking Naoya gets uppercutted to fucking hell. And that's...
Yeah, that felt good.
And that's the end of that. And so the episode basically ends. Same thing basically throughout the episode where Milika comes into the class for the girls. And, I'm skipping a part too.
Yeah.
one of the funny things is that, again, Milika's following them throughout the school. Their next class is PE. They end up going into a locked room, and
Janitor's closet.
the janitor's closet of some sort. And Naoya's like, what are you gonna do? And Saki's like, well, I'm gonna change. And he's like, oh, like, okay, I won't look. And she starts getting changed, whatever. And then they have a conversation. And then Naoya's like, oh, I can see your pants. And fucking Saki's like, dude, like when we were kids, we took baths together. Like we've seen each other's stuff. And she's like, it doesn't matter if you see my underwear. But when he sees her underwear, she freaks the fuck out. But Nagisa fucking plays Captain Savaho and fucking basically blackmails Milika anonymously, saying like, I know what school you go to. If you don't meet me on the top of the roof, I'm gonna tell everybody. So she rushes up to the roof. And throughout this whole thing, we see Milika is definitely out of shape because she runs and she's always out of breath. But in any case, she goes to the roof and she's like, oh, there's nobody there. Damn it, whatever. And this allows Saki to get changed and all of that. But anyway, the episode ends basically same thing. She goes to the classroom. She's trying to talk, whatever. And they get to like argument. And then fucking Naoya, in his infinite knowledge, is like, oh, I think you like me, but whatever. And fucking they're like, no, don't say it out loud. Nagisa and fucking Saki are like, no, don't say it out loud. You just ruined everything basically in their heads. And so Milika gets super duper embarrassed because he does this, of course, because Naoya is a fucking loudmouth. He does in front of the whole class, and the whole class is like, oh, and fucking Milika panics, grabs Naoya, like, come with me. And fucking they run out the classroom together. And Saki is like, ah, and runs after them to end the episode.
Yep.
Cringe word as fuck the whole time.
Yeah, cringy, but still funny.
Uh,
All right, let's keep going here. Again, a lot of funny stuff on that one. Let's go with Realist Hero.
Yes, I was just about to say Realist Hero. Yeah, Realist Hero, a good episode as a whole.
Yes.
We basically see throughout this whole process, as everyone knows, being a world leader, there's multiple facets you have to look at, whether it's, domestic stuff, foreign stuff, infrastructure, fucking supply and demand. And we see today's or last week's theme is disaster recovery. And so basically, as they're building the roads, first off, Soma actually likes the fact that Hal, and my cat's going crazy right now. I'm sorry about that. Hal is basically his age, and Soma's like, oh, I'm just looking for a friend to talk to. And even though like fucking he's trying to be all prim and proper because he doesn't want to get his ass beat by his dad. And we see fucking what's the girl's name? The Fox girl?
The Fox girl?
Yeah, the Fox girl. I forget her name. The mage.
Yeah.
Anyway, his childhood friend basically is trying to like direct him wrong.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck. It's kind of funny. But as they're discussing like the roads and watching them being built, there's a hawk, a messenger hawk that goes to Alicia, and Alicia opens them the message, and we find out that there's a humongous disaster in her village.
Forest.
In the forest. Basically, there was a landslide and over half the village is covered. And so they rush over there. They try to do like, quick disaster recovery because there's no precedent for this basically under Soma's watch. And so they get there and over 100 people are dead already. They manage to save, I don't know, like 40 something people, but everyone else is dead basically.
You're forgetting these are the Dark Elves, Aisha's family.
Yeah, the Dark Elves basically. So this is her clan basically. So and Soma, using living poltergeist, he makes these wooden mice that he carves himself, and he sends the mice to try and find people. So he's able to find people that are breathing, people that are stuck under luggage, under fucking rubble. And he finds a mangled body, and he's like, and he vomits, and he's like, I'm sorry, I just saw a mangled body. And then fucking his friend Hal is like, oh yeah, that's your living thingy, whatever, which is basically the living poltergeist. And he's like, yeah, and he explains how the power works. And so we also, which I love this part of the episode, we get an explanation. There's an intimate moment, but with not intimate, but like a nice heart to heart with Alice and Soma after we find out her father's brother, her uncle, basically lost his wife, and his only daughter is like fighting for her life. And so we get a heart to heart about how the forest is, doesn't need protection, and nature is powerful and nature is beautiful. However, nature will
basically his stubbornness is what caused.
Yeah, and so basically we find out that her father was against the cutting of the trees, even though the trees would have helped, it still would have been a possibility because there's no way to stop nature. And it's very applicable to today's society where, we need to do stuff in terms of like deforestation. We have to stop deforestation. We have to do like forest culling and things like that, maintenance. But in reality, nature is nature. Nature is powerful. Nature holds no guard. Like it's a real topic that as we fucking go along in life, people want to deny like climate change and all that shit, but nature really is like the central theme for this. And so basically we get that heart to heart. It's good heart to heart. The basically once the Soma's relief team, he calls for a relief team, they come and he goes back to the city. And as he's doing that, he's having a heart to heart with Lisha, and he basically says like, oh, like I failed. And Lisha's like, no, you did great. You saved people, da 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 da. And he's like, yeah, but part of my role as a king is I need to fucking prevent these things. We didn't do anything to prevent it. My role isn't to act after the fact. My role is to act before the fact, and I failed. And he basically breaks down, balls crying in front of Lisha, and Lisha's like, Soma, like she doesn't know how to act because her beloved that she loves so much now is like, just
like he's vulnerable type of thing.
Yeah, it is vulnerable moment. So it was a really good episode as a whole. Not a lot of action like always. Wasn't very funny, but we did get a good lesson.
A little bit of conflict.
Yeah, and it was good.
But yeah, a lot of I got there's still nothing groundbreaking, but it's still an enjoyable series. There's no way they're gonna wrap this up in 13 episodes.
No, not a chance in hell. But I still recommend it because it's such a unique take on isekai.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, I watched Tsukimichi, which is an isekai. I watched Million Lives, which is an isekai. And Realist Hero is such a different way of looking at it. Like a hero that isn't OP, a hero that doesn't use crazy powers, a hero that's not constantly fighting. It's a hero who's building a world basically with his wit and his knowledge, and we see a little bit of slice of life with his relationship with Lisha and Alicia and things like that. So I'd still appreciate it. People that love isekai may not appreciate it as much, but at the same time, because it's such a unique take on it, it's still, if you're an isekai fan, something that you should definitely watch. And I think, Mathew, at the end of the episode, we should do an isekai recommendation this week.
Yeah, we could do that.
All right, we'll do that at the end of the episode.
All right.
And
moving on. Aquatope. We got a beach episode.
And it was one of the better beach episodes.
Yes, it wasn't a fan service type beach episode. It was this OG telling Kukuru, like, hey, you gotta give you guys the day off. You gotta understand as a good director to know when to take a break. So don't come here, all of you. Go enjoy your day. And Kukuru hates it because she just wants the money for the aquarium. I was just like, hey, I don't give a fuck. Go.
The old man, Uru-san was taking care of everything.
Yep, hey, he's back from work, so we can work. We could abuse him before he goes injured again.
Yeah, for real.
But anyway, they get to the beach. We get Kukuru, Fuka, everyone at the beach, and then you see Kai's siblings.
No, Kai's sister, and then a boy who's constantly there who actually likes Kai's sister.
I think he's related to someone. I think Corinne.
No, she's not. He's not related.
Or Tsukimi.
No, he's not related to anybody in particular. He's just a boy.
Okay, so he's just like the friend of the little...
He's a friend who's basically a constant visitor. He's got a year-long pass, and he always comes along. He shares Kukuru's like nature in terms of, of the love of aqua. I was gonna say aquatope, but that's not right. You know what I mean.
Yeah. And the little sister hates Kukuru.
And yes, the little sister hates Kukuru. It's like, very funny.
Like, hey, Kai, you should marry Fuka instead of Kukuru.
Yeah, and we even get a little bit of a Yuri tease, but it's clear to me that this isn't going to be a Yuri. I think there's definitely going to.
I think it's just 50-50 at this point.
I don't think so, bro. I think the guys are going to get with the girls in some capacity. We just don't know in what way. The episode, though, the meat of the episode truly is the focus on Kyuya, which is the really like down, sulking, fucking adult with
Hates working with women.
hates working with women. Everything's a drag, all that shit. But we find out why that is. Basically, Kukuru's like, oh, we're right here. They end up basically the barbecue spot is in front of Gama Gama, so they're like, oh, we're already here. Like, I'm just gonna take a peek, see how things are going. And as she sees Kyuya already there talking with her grandfather, and they're basically talking about how Kyuya, could get a new job, and he didn't almost call back somebody who wanted to hire him, but Kyuya doesn't want to get another job. He just wants the aquarium to stay, and we find out the immense respect that Kyuya has for Kukuru's grandfather. We find out from I forget the girl. What's the name of the tourism lady?
Not the udon girl. The other one.
Yeah, not Udon.
Tsukimi.
Is it Tsukimi?
The blue hair, right?
No, the Tsukimi is the one from is Udon. Tsukimi is Udon. Karin.
Oh yeah, sorry, Corinne. Yes,
Corinne. So we find out from Corinne that she used to be classmates with Kyuya, and she tells them the story. She tells the girls the story about how Kyuya was a really energetic, popular, really bright, and fucking outspoken guy, and he basically gets asked out by the head of a Mean Girls like faction, and he says no, like he wasn't interested, so he rejects her. So in retaliation, like this girl fucks his life up and creates these crazy rumors, so crazy so much that fucking the cops get involved, and so this disenfranchises Kyuya with women and with life, and he becomes a recluse. And eventually, when the police do get involved, he said fuck it, and he quit school, and he kind of loses his way. He doesn't know what to do until he finds the aquarium, and Kukuru's grandfather takes him in, and we see him like develop from being like a shitty worker to a really good worker, and his dependence on Kyuya, and basically Kukuru's grandfather becomes like a second father figure to Kyuya, and that's why the aquarium means so much to Kyuya, and why Kukuru's grandfather means so much to Kyuya. So it's a really nice episode. And then at the same time that Karin is telling her,
Kukuru hears all this, and she just gets heartbroken. Like she thinks that their OG just given up on, wants to sell it. Like that's it.
Yeah, that's the conversation with Kukuru. I'm sorry, with Kyuya and her grandfather.
So Kukuru starts. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, but I was gonna say, but while this story is happening and Karin's telling the girls Kyuya's story, Kyuya's talking to Kai. And by the way, they're all drunk, which is very interesting. They're all like 16, and they're fucking drinking. But in any case, they're all drunk, and he tells him, a similar story, about his circumstance and stuff, and it basically came with a nice moral of the story, basically in terms of fighting for what you want, I guess, and stuff. So it was a really, really solid episode. We get the backdrop from Kyuya, so I loved it. Great episode. And by the way, I absolutely love, to me, the ED for Aquatope is the ED of the season.
Oh yeah, for sure. This and Vanitas are very close together.
I have to listen to Vanitas'. I still have not listened to Vanitas'. Low-key, Duke of Death is also really good. But yeah, I mean, fucking, I could just see like a beautiful concert happening whenever I hear the ED for fucking Aquatope. To me, it's my fucking ED season. But yeah, so great episode for sure. Moving on. Let's go. How many do we have left? We
got 2 left. Let's go with Duke of Death. We'll close with Kageki Shojo.
Okay. Duke of Death. So another good episode of Duke of Death. Basically the first half focuses on
Viola and Calf. And you see the Walter, I think that's the brother's name.
Yeah, that's the brother's name. So basically it starts off with Walter finding out that Viola's been visiting her brother, and Walter is a dick. He hates his brother because he's the firstborn and he's got this curse and it's preventing him from fucking taking over as the head of the family. Yep. That's all he cares about. But Viola, like we said before, genuinely cares about her brother and stuff. So he defends her, and then at the same time tells her brother, like, please don't tell mom I'm visiting him because her mom's a bitch. Their mom is a bitch. And so he actually doesn't tell, says that she's going
because of his one weakness, being number 2. He's fucking Bono. Bono like the biddy.
Yeah, so he bitches a lot about being number 2. And so we get some playfulness between Viola and everybody that's there. As Matt said,
With
basically,
Kath.
he meets Cuff, and Cuff is there because she's illiterate, and so she's trying to learn how to read and write
To impress Zane.
to impress Zane, which is cute. And so Viola meets her for the first time, thinks she's a burglar, and attacks her. And we see like a kind of cute, etchy moment between them. But it's funny how everybody mistakes them. Like, oh, we'll just come back. You guys are busy, doing
Yeah,
nasty
when
stuff.
she got her tied up.
Yeah,
Like,
tied up.
and on top of her, like,
And
you
she-
can't go anywhere.
Yeah, for real, that was funny. I laughed at that. But yeah, it is an episode, back and forth a little bit with Viola and Rob and whatnot. But the center of the episode basically focuses on
Next.
Alice and Bochan, and they're playing chess on a cold, stormy night, winter night, and so it's a snowstorm outside. And Alice starts reminiscing on the first time that she met Bochan, and we see Bochan at his lowest and his full despair after he's cursed. He's by himself. All he has is Rob, and Alice comes in, and he's like, "How dare you bring somebody? I didn't tell you to hire nobody." And we see Bochan is just a complete asshole to fucking Alice, and they tell him like, "Oh, you guys have met before." It's like, I don't fucking know where I would have met her. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
And he basically tests her and throughout the episode, and she does everything she can because Alice, even at this time, still genuinely loves and cares about Bochan. And eventually she manages to basically impress him, and she's there for him, comforts him when he's crying, all of that. And then something clicks with Bochan after he basically says like, "Oh, I'm gonna just die." So he goes out in the middle of a snowstorm and he's resigned himself to death, and Alice saves him. And he realizes like, "Oh shit, like there was a girl that was my friend, I never saw her. Oh my God, that girl is Alice." And that's when he realizes that he likes Alice and their feelings are reaffirmed, and he accepts her and all of that. So that was a very, very cute, very, very cute, I guess, moment between them. And it was a very cute episode as a whole, like always.
Yeah, no, yeah, I definitely like the whole backstory and how Alice remembers when Bochan saved her when she was done taking care of her aunt, very ill. Basically, like she was a loner. Then Bochan actually made her like genuinely happy, and then she wanted to repay that to the very end.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she decided, like, yeah, I know about your curse, I know about everything. That's why I want to be here with you. I want to be with you forever, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I chose this, and she confessed without saying it, basically, in a way. And I thought it was really sweet and very well done.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, bro, like if the couple of the season isn't gonna come from Remake, it's Bochan and Alice. I'm not watching
100%.
Vanitas, but
I know.
I
I love this stuff in videos, but I would definitely still say Bochan and Alice. So.
Yeah, Bochan and Alice, unless we get a nice relationship from Kageki Shojo at some point. But I don't know. The way we're looking, probably not.
I will talk about Kageki Shojo because this one I paid attention to. Like,
I'm so mad, bro. I'm so mad.
I know, but at the same time, I understand.
I get it. I just, I felt bad for my boy.
Karo, the girl Ethan hated.
No, I don't really hate her.
I thought she was the one you didn't like.
No, I don't like fucking what's her face's sensei.
Oh, I was talking about the students. I thought you didn't like her in terms of students.
No, I don't like the other bitch, the one with the class president. She's a bitch.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay.
I didn't really like. I didn't like Haru at first, but then we understand the pressure, and especially with this episode, that definitely helps warm you up to her.
She had so much pressure into going this, and you find about her on vacation. She went home basically.
Yeah.
There was this bus stop with Suji and Kyle where they met, like about a couple years ago. We would like to say
year before
before she got the academy, and then
she was a senior. Yeah, she was a senior in high school, trying her best because she's gonna apply.
This was her final year for to get to the school.
She had failed 3 times, and people that she had trained with had all gotten in, but she hadn't. Don't know why. It's not the start.
And she wanted to be in the Kyoka trope, which is where the females play the male roles type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find out again that her grandma's in the hospital. You find out more about like the pressure again, like the fact that, and it shows that family connections don't get you this position.
which is good in reality.
Like you
Well,
still
some
for some places, yeah, like you still have to earn it. And then she hears Suji talking a little bit like, "Hey, like your brother's a famous baseball player. Could you give this to him?" I was like, "No, I want nothing to do with that." Like this,
and breaks that girl's heart.
yeah, and good, rightfully so, because that's not he's not a messenger; he's his own person. Actually, because of the fact that they were overshadowed by previous family, like they were popular than them type of thing, they're still trying to find their own identity in terms of what they want to do for the future. They bonded over that. And we get a lot of sweet moments with that. But eventually, it's like Suji, like, do you really want to play baseball? Because he was always a bench warmer.
He's like, why am I wasting my time? Do you ever feel that way? And in a very powerful and emotional moment, we see Karo.
And that got her.
Yeah, Karo breaks down and she's like, no, I've never felt that way because this is what I want. I really want this. No one will understand how much I want this. I figured you did.
And then she said goodbye to him.
Yeah, not like you. Goodbye. And you see the fucking fireworks going off. And normally with Hanabi episodes, as I alluded previously, they're very happy. They advance relationships. In this instance, this Hanabi episode killed this relationship. She ran with tears in her eyes and
singing. She was
singing in the previous episode. Yeah, previously in the episode, she was run on the beach and sing, and she struggled. And in this moment of sadness and despair, she's running in her fucking sandals in her kimono, and she's singing beautifully as the fireworks are going off behind her, and there's tears streaming down her eyes, and she completes the song, and it's a beautiful song that's told as well. And so yeah, dude, she goes through all the extremes. She blocks his number.
Wants nothing to do with him, and then eventually she gets in. Like she eventually gets in. Then she's walking down the street and she sees the TV. It's a baseball game, and she sees Suji on there. I think he's actually playing. And then the home run wins. She starts crying like she was happy for him.
Yeah.
And then you find out they lost the championship game in the first round. Like, ah.
But regardless, he had that moment, and in a beautiful twist at the end. This is basically a daydream, and we find out Summer was. This is a daydream. We return to present life, and we see Sarasa tell her like, oh, like Karo, look, and then it's a viral
bus stop.
It's a viral thing. They're like, isn't this your hometown? This is a bus stop. And they said somebody left a letter on the bus stop and it said 2K, I'm still playing baseball. I hope things are going well for you. And then it basically says, please leave it up for the summer. And so they're like, no one knows if it's for a man or a girl or who wrote it, whether it was a boy or a girl. But it's so romantic, and Karo knew immediately who it was. It was addressed to her, and Sarasa was like, "Isn't that so romantic?" And Karo, for the first time, smiles, and she said, "Yeah, that is really romantic." And in her head, she's like, one day, when I make it big and I'm a top star, I'm gonna leave you box seats, and then hopefully we can talk about how I used to love you. And it was like, fuck, bro. That was a nice little talk.
This is probably my favorite for the week. So,
I don't think this was my favorite. I think my favorite goes to
Remake.
No, honestly, no. Revenges or Aquatope.
Yeah, those are fair. But it's more, I like the backstory of Karo and then Suji, that dynamic, or what could have been. Like she has thought about it.
I don't like, truth be told, I don't like what could have been, because I think about that a lot with my relationships, especially because I communicate with some of these girls consistently, still, which you shouldn't do. Advice, if that's the road that you end up on, don't revisit that. But because I'm stupid and I always think about the what ifs with, situations that I'm in. And so I don't like looking at what ifs because it hits home. But yeah, at the same time, because it does hit home, it does make it more meaningful and more impactful to me. So I totally understand why you thought this would be your week, for sure.
This is definitely up to my speed.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Closing thoughts for the seasonal episodes.
I can't wait to see Uramichi. I can't wait to see To Your Eternity. I'm looking forward tomorrow to Slime, because we're gonna get the Walpurgis arc, and of course, I'm looking forward to everything else that we're gonna get with My Villain Academia, with Remake and the love story and everything else, Aquatope, and see how that develops and see what we get from there. So a lot of exciting shit. and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, we're going to take one more commercial break. We'll give you an anime recommendation, and then we are going to sign off. Stay tuned. All right, we're back.
Tadaima!
All right, and as Ethan mentioned, we are going to do a isekai recommendation for all of you lovely people. Ethan, since you picked it, I'll let you go first.
Isekai recommendation. I have an obvious one, but I want to see if I can pick a less obvious one. It's just there's so many good isekais. It's very hard to fucking pick a particular one.
Right.
I'm trying to go through my list really quick to see if I can find a good fucking isekai. You know what? I'm gonna go with my comedy isekai because it's always the best. Konosuba. I was gonna go with ReZero, but I don't want to put depression. Let's go with fucking ReZero. You know, honestly, one thing as we mentioned last week, Mushoku Tensei, core 2 of season 1 was announced. So if I'm gonna suggest a newer one, I would definitely suggest everybody catch up on Mushoku Tensei. It's available on Hulu, so you can watch the first half, and it gets good. Everyone knows at the beginning it's a little ecchi with some sexual portions, but as a whole, it's a really good isekai. So if you want to watch one that's current for sure, definitely watch that one. And again, in the fall season, I believe it's in fall, we're gonna get core 2 of season 1. So for sure.
All right, so that's your recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This one people are already know, and it kind of counts. Inuyasha. It technically does count as an isekai. Guess it's another world, except she didn't die. She just come and go as she wishes. For till then. But anyway, everyone knows Inuyasha, Kagome, Naraku, probably one of the better villains in that type of genre. Shishomaru, Buroku, Sango. Again, a lot of great characters. Definitely rushed with the final act, but then again, that feels like they had to end it. Just don't watch Yashahime. That was a train wreck. It started good. But what you call it? Inuyasha is the only one that's something that could actually feel like an Inuyasha show, just not Toa and Setsuna. What was it, Tora? I think.
I don't know. I don't watch Inuyasha, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, that's my recommendation, Inuyasha. We talked our cake. We ate it too. We are now full of cake. Follow me on Twitter at DamienPhoenix12. We want to thank W2M Network for having us on their various podcasts like Spotify, Amazon, Apple. We also want to thank Chairshot Radio for having us on there, for the iHeartRadio and various. We can listen to your favorite local podcasts. Even your plugs.
Yep, you can catch me on my anime Instagram, AI_anime24. You can catch me on my podcast Instagram, podcast.senpai. You can catch me on Twitter at SHOSTOPPA24. Catch me on analyst.co at SHOSTOPPA249. If you click in the link trees inside of any of those bios, you'll find links to my other stuff, including my other 2 podcasts, the Orlando Tragics podcast, shout out to B. Ronan, available on Spotify, Apple Music, and on SoundCloud. Shout out to the MMA for Marks podcast, available on YouTube. And then we're now going to switch to audio soon, so we're going to see where we'll upload that. Stay tuned for that. And I think that's it.
All right, until next time, arigato, anata ofaku, and sayonara.
Sayonara, minasan!